Hi everybody, it's Marcy and welcome to day 2 of 5 Days of Christmas, a Cara Brandon Creations Dearjuliejulie collaboration. And today these are the papers we are working with. This is a collage page from Cara Brandon. And here we have this page from Dearjuliejulie. We've got lots of Christmas phrases and sentiments. They appear to be like from Christmas cards. And then we've got cards. Here we've got a little trade card, a couple of stamps. This little card, I don't know what game that's from. I'm sure I did it one time, but my brain has become addled since that time. And this little poinsettia. So lots to work with. I'm only going to make a couple of things today, but I think, which do I want to start with? I think I'll start with this one. I'm going to use this coffee-dyed index card as my base, and the first thing I'm going to do is glue down some of, this is just one section of Cara's collage page, and I am just going to glue that right to my index card. Let's see if I can turn this and get this somewhat on there straight. I want part of that ticket. I want some of the ticket and some of the bingo card. So I do like that. I'll just use my bone folder to smush that down, and I'll be, as normal, I'll be sewing around the card, so I'm not too worried about whether I've got the glue right at the edges. Although I would prefer to trim away the excess paper without cutting too much of my card. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. And let's do a little light inking around the edges, just to sort of frame the card a little bit. Don't have to do this by any means, but if you've watched me for any period of time, you know I have to do a little inking just to add some framing. All right. Now, I want to add this on top, this Dearjuliejulie image. But before I do that, well, All right, I'm going to cut this bit of trim. Sorry, I'm looking and kind of refiguring. This is going to be a pretty simple journal card, but okay. I think I have to make a decision. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue the Dearjuliejulie image. And we're going to get it roughly centered and roughly straight. Hopefully. Could have brought that down a little more, but that's all right. Then I'm going to pull out my Fabri-Tac. And run a bead of Fabri-Tac or a line all the way across. And put that down. Basically, I'm sort of faux gift wrapping this journal card. And the only reason I'm not wrapping the ribbon all the way around and all of that is simply to avoid as much bulk as I possibly can. So instead of wrapping all the way around, which would have been cute because I could have had just a deal of ribbon on the back, but of course I didn't think about that until just this instant, so we're going with this way. Then I pre-made a little bow, and I pre-made because it's easier. And I am going to glue the bow right in that little corner. Just like that. And I'll here in a minute, I'll go over to my sewing machine and stitch around it. I want to let everything dry and set up, and then I'll stitch around it, and that will be that card. Now for my other one, I'm going to make a tag of sorts. So again, I've got a piece of scrapbook paper from the pad I'm using. I told you about it in the last one. It is, what is it? It is Cara Home for Christmas. And I got this from Maddie at Spectrum Art Creations. Okay, so then I've got Cara's collage page, and I just took out the Christmas, and then there was a part on it that had Christmas Carol. And basically, I'm going to recollage some of her collage. So for this one, I'm just going to... Ooh, I haven't had my glue stick open in a while. May take it a minute to warm itself up. All right. I'm going to put it up in this corner. And where I'll just burnish that down. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this whole thing, and again, I'll be stitching around the edges. All right. Onto my card, and again, I'm going to leave a little more room at the top than at the bottom. But I'd like my bottom and my sides. I said my bottom. Okay, turn the lid over. Leave a little more room at the top, but the bottom and the sides are roughly even. Okay, now, while I'm stalling a bit, I'll go ahead and round these corners. And I'm going to grab a wipe to get the glue off my fingers. Okay. Now, I've got this bird that, where did Cara's page go? So for this one, what you can see is I'm using this music, this Christmas Carol from here, and then I have fussy cut and heat embossed the birds. And I want them to go right on top. So you can see here from my heat embossing, it came through the paper because this was just on, it's not 20-pound copy paper, but it's like 24-pound, maybe 28-pound, but it's still copy paper, so it bled through. The top still is fine, but so I'm going to add lots of glue to all the little fiddly bits. Okay, did I get up here well enough? Now, I apologize if I'm a little sniffly. I feel like I'm trying to get a little bit of a cold or something like it. And I'm using my bone folder here, trying to keep my fingers out of the glue. And to help get everything burnished down. But I do kind of like the way that just that small amount of heat embossing raises the birds up just enough, brings them into the forefront just enough. And you could do the same thing with like a triple thick or Nouveau drops or glossy accents. Right now, just due to time, I'm kind of enjoying the heat embossing because I can get it done and then it's done and I don't have to allow lots of drying time. So, and I just use clear embossing powder. Okay. So then the next thing I'm going to do, I've got this punch that is, it's not exactly the Euro punch, which has the long strip, but it also has sort of a rounded part on it. This is just the long strip. Let's see, and I marked the back of my card to try to get roughly center. So just that little bit of a notch in it. And get that off. And I'm going to put a dot of glue to hold it. On that side and on this side. And now I'm going to run to my sewing machine real quick, stitch around both of these pieces, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I sewed around the edges of my cards, and this one I'm just going to leave as is. This one, I'm going to, I have another little bow that I want to put right here. And just by way of letting you know, we may be seeing some bows. I just figured out, I'd seen other people do it, like Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah and stuff like that, but I could not quite get the hang of it. Making little bows with using a fork. And for some reason this morning I pulled up a video and was watching somebody, I can't even remember who, it was an older video, making the little bows with the fork. And for some reason that particular video was the one that clicked with me. And so now I can make little bitty pretty bows using a fork. Okay, and here at the bottom, I realized as I was doing this, I don't have anything Dearjuliejulie on here. So I think I'm just going to add this little thing from the Christmas card. It says, "Christmas would not be Christmas but for the happy interchange of our hearty good wishes." So I kind of wish I'd scooted the birds up a little bit, but I didn't. So, and I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac here. My art glitter glue would work, but I had my Fabri-Tac in my hand, and it is going to sit over the threads and the little bit of the embossing on the birds. So we'll just add that as a final little top layer. Okay, so those are my 2 makes for today. I still have a lot of pieces left over, and those will most likely appear in my journal when I get it done. Anything I have left over, I'm just setting aside so I can use it in other ways. So those are my makes for day 2 of 5 days of Christmas. Be sure to search hashtag 5daysXmas 2021 to check out all the other people making stuff for this collaboration. For day 2, we're all using the same digital images, but everyone will be coming up with different things. So it really is a lot of fun to see what everyone makes. And until next time, I wish you all a wonderfully happy, crafty day, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.